Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome to Who's Next. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is your boy Naeem Muhammad with Native Deen. And of course, I have my two brothers with me.
Can't forget us, Brother Joshua Salam.
Abdul Malik Ahmed.
And we're so excited to be here on Who's Next, is where we're finding the next top Muslim artist, whether it be in hip-hop, spoken word, song, singer-songwriter, or what have you. And we're scouring the country here and all the way up in Canada to find out who's next. So Joshua, are you excited for this week, for this next contestant?
Yeah, what about tap dance? Did we take any tap dancing?
Abdul Malik was the one who actually put together the criteria. Was there tap dancing?
Well, I was gonna put it in, but I didn't. I knew that I was so good at it that nobody would actually compete with my skills in tap dancing.
Okay.
So I didn't want to have that in there because they wouldn't be able to.
I see.
All right, well,
I'm ready though. I'm excited.
You're ready?
Let's
okay.
get to it.
Well, I'm excited. This is our first female contestant of the program. So I'm excited about this. This is Ayah Chehade from Chicago, Illinois.
Is she singing?
She's actually doing a spoken word piece.
Okay.
A spoken word piece that I feel already by the title. I think it's called "When Bernie Lost," I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh,
When Bernie Lost, that meant a lot to me. So
Okay.
let's go ahead. I'm really excited. This is our first spoken word artist. So I'm really excited to hear Ayah Chehade all the way from Chicago, Illinois.
When Bernie lost the New York elections, I cried. And before you tell me he's not perfect, I tell you at least he tried, at least he was some sort of ally, not outright lying about who people like me and you were. I say this because for people of color, an ounce of hope is enough to keep us holding on. For people of color, change is the tip of the election pole that we've hurt our bodies trying to climb. My knees have been scraped and my hands are calloused. The American dream is the fabric of a billowing flag, probably made in China, red for blood stains, blue for the ocean immigrants died trying to cross, and white for the flag of peace. Was it peace or surrender? The flag of peace we wave every day to you. As we tried to feed our families with whatever morsels this country would offer us, sewn together with the thread of struggle, and then you ask me to lower my voice. And then you tell me I'm getting worked up, and then you laugh at my anger, but being apolitical is something only those who are privileged can muster. Only those unaffected by laws written against people like us can ever be neutral. And it's ironic, because in the country that spits freedom for all, claiming a group of lives matter has garnered the highest death toll. How can you ask me to politely ask for my freedom? How can you point at the scars of 100-year-old whips and chains and jail me for trying to heal what's left of raw skin? How can I explain what it's like to literally watch your parents dig their own grave as they toil in this dirt you called the land of the brave? Just to harvest some flammable green for us to feed on, live on, grow on, just to leave a mark, just to prove that you not wanting us here is not enough against the evidence of work on our palms. You do not decide who fits. A people is not a puzzle, but places of power have taken it upon themselves to chisel out the pieces. Shape molds we are incapable of fitting. White is not a choice. But even if it was, I would still choose to be me 100 times over because I carry the blood of legends too. People of color have undergone an emotional evolution, melanin so poignant it is our elixir of pride, the mark of the soil we come from and shall return to. We fight with more ferocity, we love deeper, and the only chains we've truly accepted for ourselves are the ones we've built, binding us together. We have watched loved ones die in front of us for seeking help for those who have sworn to defend and protect. And instead of mourning our loss, we have been made to fight for an apology, to apologize. We never get any apologies. We have feared for our lives in every step of trying to live. Don't stand too close to the train platform. You might get pushed over. Just swallow the curse words yelled at you through an open window at a traffic light. Ignore the guy who just touched your scarf, called it a towel, called you a terrorist, told you to go home. Muster up the courage not to cry when you are frisked and searched and set aside till you miss your flight at the airport. Because who knows, there might be explosives in those socks they're inspecting. Don't trigger that bigot staring at you hatefully from across the street. Think in your head of an escape route, where to hit him in case he attacks. Walk into the nearest public building for safety because you are girl, babe, pretty lady, and you are alone. Don't mention religion or politics in small talk. It makes people uncomfortable. Keep academic papers impersonal and objective. The best knowledge is the knowledge that is distant from your experiences. But my knowledge comes from years of hurts. And they call that street smart, because people of color can't just be smart. If they throw tear gas at you, calm the burning with milk. Debka your way around the tank. It might not stop when you get in the way. Here, let me show you how to resist. This is how we subsist. To live is to fight each day like we owed you, each breath that we took. Like it wasn't God's intended symphony for us, the people, we. God knew we could carry the tears and water gardens with them. For so many of us, justice and protests and politics are not just a way to vent out emotion, but our last means, by all means necessary, to reclaim what should naturally be ours.
Right, all right. Hey. You know, I usually like to, actually, I had to get into, like, I was at some function, they were, like, doing this. I was like, hey, come on, really? But then when I was, like, really got into it, I was like,
yeah, what do you feel? Yeah.
No, so were you feeling it here?
I definitely, I was feeling some of the points. I like when she said, like, she said melanin is our elixir or something like that. I thought that was a couple. She had some bars. She definitely had bars. I think I liked her cadence and everything and how she's going through it. I mean, personally, for me, when it comes to spoken word, I'm like short and sweet. It was a little long for me, but in the world of spoken word, that wasn't long at all. I mean, people. Will love that. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
You're just agreeing to it. He's like, yeah.
No, I was like, no, I mean, there's a couple lines in there. I mean, when she was talking about, how people throw curse words, just for wearing her scarf and that type of thing, and just the stuff that people of color and minorities go through. I mean, I was feeling that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, she was reading it, so the delivery was. That's sometimes, true. When spoken word.
She was kind of reading it.
She was kind of reading it. She was looking at you and
taking cues.
Yeah. But that's understandable because if we're going to put this on the album, she'll be able to read it. But when it comes to performance, obviously, you got to memorize it.
Yeah, you definitely do.
But and I think it came from her heart, so I thought that was good. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked her wordplay. I liked the way it's like, oh, I saw what you did there. With her wordplay. Yeah. I also think that if she does overcome those things that you guys have already mentioned, so I don't need to hash them out as far as knowing your piece. I mean, you're at home, so you can hit. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Yeah. Or maybe she just needed to get it in time and didn't have it. We don't know all those details, but get it right, send it in. She has the voice that could work for it. She has the writing ability, the wordplay. So I could see her as a up and coming spoken word artist. I think she needs a little bit more confidence in herself and in what she's saying, because you saw the confidence at the very end when she looked at the camera. She was like, "Now, I dropped that on y'all," type of thing. But it would have been nice to kind of hear that in her presentation earlier on. To
be a little more animated. Yeah. Well, one thing I would say, and what I think gets old for me personally, I mean, in the spoken word realm, is everybody's just mad, And I didn't hear really mad. I mean, it was, she had conviction.
It was
she
concern.
was yeah, you could feel, but she was really to the point, and she was letting you know where she's coming from, and she's to the point. You know, it was conviction behind it. But there wasn't like I just feel like oftentimes I go to like a spoken word, right, and it's just like, this is going to be a night of people yelling at why I'm mad at the world, you know, and it's one thing of like voicing your concerns and telling the world, and I think that's what's needed, especially when you're in a competition like this, to stand out. If all the spoken word people would be one way, like everything's mad or whatever. That's why I like Sakina from Poetic Pilgrimage. When she does her she has a spoken word that she can bring it like this, and the softness as well. Mona Haider is another one who does that too. I think this sister I think she has a bright future ahead of her. Still very young, and I'd like to see how far she'll go into the competition.
If she does go to the next level, what are some things that you would recommend?
Well, let me say this. I want to know what you think about this, because she started off about why Bernie lost. And do you think that the data because obviously now it's been some time.
Not why, it was when.
When Bernie
lost. Right, I'm sorry. When Bernie lost. I feel that that you should speak about whatever hits you. And if that's the thing that hit her, that's fine. And that can be timeless, you know. But there's always a balance.
Did that date it? Is that what you think?
Yeah,
Did it
you know, for example, if we put this on an album, will it 10 years from now, people might either look back and be like, "Oh man, that's what the Muslims were thinking about then."
Well, that's what, and that was one thing I would say. I remember Dawood Warnsby said that to me once. Is that he said artists should keep creating in the time so people can look back and see what was on their mind at that time.
Right,
so dated in the sense of like, you know, when Public Enemy was 1989 number, then you're kind of like, yeah, that song is gonna work for like 2 weeks. I mean, next year. But it's still a good song. But in the beginning, you're first like, man, that's dated.
That's how old it is.
But that song is still like that's great. But I don't feel like her talking about Bernie losing pulls away from that, because that was almost like one of the sparks, because she talked about police brutality. She talked about she talked about
harassment, discrimination, Muslim being pushed off of the edge of a metro stop.
Right. Yeah, so many things that were happening in that time. So I think it's perfect. Yeah. I think it's perfect in that sense. So
you go,
but it's not about what only we think, it's about what you think. And as we do with all our videos, what we want you to do on Facebook, we want you to click like, and we want to see how many likes we'll collect for this person. And make sure you're sharing it as well. And if you're on Instagram, again, we want you to double tap that, show some love for this artist if you want to see them move on to the next step on Who's Next. Thank you for watching.
This Deen TV video was made possible in part by Islamic Relief USA, working together for a better world, by Guidance Residential, the #1 Islamic home financer in the U.S., and by Recycle Processes Incorporated.